Hello and welcome. My name is Peggy Sundstrom and I'm the lead faculty member for the PhD program in Organizational Development and Leadership. I'm the host of this session, which is entitled Collaborative Approaches to Incorporating Career Readiness into Course Design. And this presentation is the second of 4 in a series that we're calling Course Design with Career in Mind. Later today, I will be hosting a panel presentation with the presenters from all 4 of the individual presentations. So check out the schedule. There's a lot more to come and a great panel presentation, which is scheduled for noon Pacific time today. For those members in the audience, your microphones are muted for this presentation, but I encourage you to post questions and comments in the chat. And keep an eye on the chat for a link to a session feedback survey. So now I'm very pleased to introduce you to our presenters. Sonognini with the Zovio Instructional Design Team, and Matthew Phillips with Ashford University Career Services. And again, the title of their presentation, Integrating NACE Competencies at the Course and Program Level. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not, it's Collaborative Approaches to Incorporating Career Readiness into Course Design. Sarah and Matthew, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for coming. So yes, Matt, if you want to, Matt's controlling the slides today. So this is Matt and my presentation. Matthew has been with Career Services as a resource designer and has worked at Ashford for 15 months. And I'm an instructional designer with the Academic Products and Services team with Zovio. And I've been with Zovio for just over 2 years and have had a wonderful opportunity working with many of the Ashford faculty and with Matt developing and incorporating career readiness activities into our courses. So some of the objectives that we want to kind of cover today, and I'll just go over these kind of quickly, is just the value of scaffolding career service elements across programs of study, within programs of study. Matt's also going to share some of the menu of services that Career Services provides and some of the really wonderful resources that they develop. And we're also going to talk about how the instructional designer, that's someone like myself, the faculty, career service liaison, that would be Matt, and sometimes industry experts collaborate to produce valuable learning experiences and customized resources for each course. And then we're also going to present some of the examples of assignments that we have developed. So that's actually going to take up a bunch of our time. We want to share out some of the cool projects that we've worked on. Okay, so as we all know, in education, scaffolding is incredibly important. We are noticing a bit of scaffolding needs of career readiness activities throughout the programs, within the programs, and in the courses. So, of course, you know, we want to make sure that we are reducing overlap of career-related activities throughout programs. This can diminish the value of those activities for students. So, for example, if you have multiple courses in a program that are doing resume building activities, that can kind of diminish that value for students. However, if it's done intentionally and thoughtfully, that can actually increase value. So, for example, if you have a program that does a resume building activity in the beginning of the program and then also at the end of the program, you're kind of creating that baseline for comparison, and you can see how students grow within that program. So that would be an intentional overlap that can really, you know, it's a good metric to see how students are growing and how the program is doing. Also identifying gaps. So gaps of career-related activities within programs can leave students feeling unprepared for the workforce. And of course, we don't want that to happen. And then that takes away from the student perceived value of the program. So let's go to the next slide and let's talk about some of the examples of career readiness activities. We've kind of defined these 3 categories. So we have searching activities, planning activities, and building activities. And we're going to provide examples of some of these, and you can see the course codes for some of these. So for searching, we have industry search, job title research, company research, and then job searches. For planning, we have engaging with career services. So that's in motivating students to go onto the Career Services website and really see what they have to offer. Career planning activities, interview preparation, which is kind of a new one that we're working with, and we'll share some examples there. And then building, we have crafting a diversity statement. Matt developed a really great example that he's going to share out. LinkedIn, network profile building, resume building, of course, job scan and resume optimization, and then cover letter writing. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt. He's going to share out, we're going to kind of alternate sharing some of these examples. So I think Matt's going to share the industry research. Take it away, Matt.
Thanks so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say how thrilled I am to work with you and continue working with your team and everything you all do for the students. So I really appreciate it. And everything I'm going to present here, I have to say, has been developed with the help of a faculty subject matter expert and an instructional designer, sometimes a combination of the two, sometimes just one, but that's really important to note. So the first one I want to talk about is this industry research assignment for computational linguistics, actually. Linguistics 450 is the course. Essentially, double check that everything's okay. I'm hoping you all can see that. So we can see here this Linguistics 450 assignment. This is how it looks in Canvas. I think that's important because the visual representation of the assignment could influence how the students see it. It's sort of a very niche course in the sense that computational linguistics is very specific. Students in this course may not want to go into computational linguistics. So
Matt, we're not seeing your the example. We're still seeing that PowerPoint, just so you know.
Okay, give me 1 second. How about now?
Yeah.
Great. Sorry about that, everyone. Thanks, Sarah. Maybe I should have had the instructional designer control the PowerPoint. Okay, so this is the assignment as it is in Canvas. Essentially, it gives the students two options. I'm going to go to a different page here where you can see it a little bit better, but we didn't want to pigeonhole the student to have to be choosing or searching for a career in computational linguistics. They may want to do something else with that knowledge and expertise, obviously. So this is how it looks essentially. It's a career exploration journal or reflection, a pretty simple rubric associated with it. But essentially, it sends the students to Indeed.com or Linguist List. And what they can do is search for opportunities in computational linguistics. There actually are a lot of opportunities in that field. But we wanted the student to reflect on what their actual career level was, what their expertise level was, and how they might use that expertise to influence their career in the future. This was basically facilitated by the faculty subject matter expert. She originally had, I think it was a very basic resume assignment, and she wanted to give the students experience in searching within the field. And so that's why we decided to develop it. Again, two options here. One for the students who are very interested in computational linguistics, lots of jobs at Google, Amazon, places like that. And then an option for students who might be interested in teaching English as a second language or working in the education field, how they might reflect on it. And what we've seen so far, which is really great, are some very rich responses. The responses generally end up talking about how computational linguistics is relevant to their career because it develops some both soft and hard skills. So very cool experience for the students, I think. Pretty simple rubric and just a basic reflective exercise that wouldn't have happened had it not been for the faculty subject matter expert asking for this type of assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to Sarah for the next example.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so now we're going to pull up an example of a career planning guide. This guide is, thanks. So this is actually for a course that is in revision right now. It's HCA 340, and we worked on this with myself, Matt, and the brilliant Lynn Trevison and Robert Smiles. So this is really kind of to help students understand, to set some goals that are achievable and develop some measurable action steps towards achieving those goals. So I'm just going to kind of have Matt kind of run through this. So step one, they're going to do a job market research. And as you scroll down, we have some job boards that are related to, you know, this health careers, so that students can explore those job boards, identify a job listing, and then do some analysis of that job listing. So they're going to determine if it's an entry-level position, or if not, what is it? And then they're gonna, you know, offer a summary of the job, and then what does the job entail, if you wanna scroll down. And then importantly are the qualifications of that job. So really determining what skills, what knowledge, skills, abilities they need in order to land this job. And then step three, assesses where you want to be in 10 years. So here's where that goal setting space is. So they're going to assess where they want to be in 10 years, write a brief paragraph that summarizes their career goals. And then we chunk it out to, you know, defining those steps, those action steps. So think about 5 years from now, what are those actions that they're going to need that will lead you to your ultimate career goal? And then where are you today? So that's kind of how we chunked it out. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be great. And then Michelle wants the links to the resources. Yeah, we'll provide those links. Okay, so that's the career planning guide. And then next we have this really fun interview preparation that our EdTech team built. And so yes, you can go ahead and click here to begin. So essentially what this does is we research common interview questions for the a healthcare administrator position. We developed, well, I should say we, but this was Sherry Liu and Robert Smiles again, identified these 10 interview questions, and we wanted to randomize them. So we put them in this interactive, and students, when they click on the interactive, they're going to receive 5 of the 10 interview questions. I think 2 of them are set that they have to receive those. So you can click begin. And they're going to receive these interview questions. They're essentially going to take a screenshot of what those interview questions are. And then in video, they are going to provide answers. You can go ahead and click next question. They're going to answer those questions. And that's going to be what they submit. So they submit that to Canvas, and then we also have them submit it in writing to Waypoint, you know, to make sure that we're aligning it with the CLOs and tracking all of that data. So this is one example. So you can click through and you can just see some of the other types of interview questions, management style, and a time you were given short notice to come up with the solution. How do you handle rejection? So that's one example of interview questions. Another one is one that I worked on with the brilliant Dr. William Woods, who presented before this. So this is another course that is currently being developed, and this course has a story woven through it of a company called Learn eNow. And so this basically it's a technology company, and students throughout the course are kind of applying for a position with this company and having to prove themselves to be good quality members of this virtual team. So if you want to click next, so this interview interactive, so basically congratulations, based on the information that you shared in your bio, you're being considered for a leadership position. So you're being given an opportunity to interview. You can click next. And so this one, it's not randomized interview questions. It's just a series of 5 questions that students have to answer in video and then submit that to Canvas. So that's the interview component, and then, or activity. And then I think, is the next one the LinkedIn Matt, that we wanted to share out? Or okay,
Yeah,
so
that's correct. Yeah, go ahead. This is the
okay,
LinkedIn profile, and then we'll jump to the other sheet as well.
okay, great. So another activity that we have developed is creating a LinkedIn profile. As we all know, LinkedIn is incredibly valuable. It says here, by having a complete profile, users are 40 times more likely to receive opportunities through LinkedIn. So we just want to, help students to build their LinkedIn profile. So Matt created this really wonderful must-haves, nice-to-haves sheet for students to kind of refer to. And so this is for Business 123. We have students develop a LinkedIn profile. So because some students might not actually want to have an online presence, we offer a template that is essentially the same thing as a LinkedIn profile that they can fill out. For a variety of reasons, students might not want to have an online presence. So we give them this opportunity and really just kind of walk them through the steps of creating their LinkedIn profile and how to make it great. And then if they're actually doing it on LinkedIn, they can download their profile as a PDF and submit that to Waypoint for grading.
Yeah, super awesome. And I wanted to say, Sarah, this checklist here was actually developed by my colleagues Nicole Poff and Rebecca Davis, who some of you might know who are listening to this session, both incredible career experts. And then I sort of took it and used it wherever I could.
It's an incredible resource.
Yeah, super cool. And then Sarah, you developed this, so really great stuff. I wanted to talk about the next project we did, which is how to craft a diversity statement. This was for an ECE course. The faculty subject matter expert here was Dr. Holly Lopez, so we really appreciate her work that she's been doing. Essentially, when you're in ECE or education in general, you may be asked to craft a diversity statement in affiliation with your job search materials or your interview materials or what have you. It may go along with the teaching statement, as many of us have had to craft in the past. So we wanted to create a really brief resource for the classroom that students can access. And essentially it's a RISE module. It's built in Articulate, the RISE portion of Articulate. Really simple stuff. We make sure we have a fully accessible version here as a Word document. They can always reach out to us, the Career Services team, for help with this stuff. If we don't have the expertise, we will find a way to develop it or find someone who does have the expertise to help. But it's a really pretty simple module. We give some instructions on how to use it. We always say bookmark this resource for later use. So students can bookmark this, come back to it in a year, hopefully, and review it if they need to. Notice here we have multiple ways to navigate through the resource. So here we have a button. We also have this here. RISE is really cool because it's really good on multiple devices. So if a student accesses this from a phone randomly, they can actually go through the module and it's fine. And again, really coupling anything we create with fully accessible Word documents if that's a necessity. Here we jump to what, when, and why. So really giving the student some insight into what it is, when you might need it, and why you need it. So here we sort of went through each of those. It's really simple, but kind of, I guess, collating all this disparate information for the student here. And then craft your own. So we give like a step-by-step. It's a personal piece of writing. Asking themselves, how am I diverse? We give a lot of examples, which I think can be really helpful. We make sure we tell them this list is not comprehensive, right? Lots of ways to talk about diversity. Give them some questions to think about. And then, of course, lastly, just, if you need more help, wherever that went. Oh. Not sure why that happened, but essentially that gives them the email and phone number for Career Services, and we can help them if they need it. So that's that resource. And then we also use RISE to build a very, I'll call it a comprehensive resume resource. Clearly there's lots of things we can talk about when we talk about resumes, and there are lots of preconceived notions that students have about resumes. What we wanted to get at was that you can use an applicant tracking system friendly template. They're readily available on the internet. We also wanted to talk to the students a bit about optimizing a modern resume. So when we say optimize, we're talking about tailoring it for a specific job search, or really a specific position that you're applying for. So that's kind of a light bulb moment for the students that come to our team. They say, oh, I need to optimize each time I apply. Yes, you absolutely do. Because there are algorithms that are trying to surface the most qualified candidates based on keywords. So this module kind of walks students through the really basic stuff. I believe this video will play, so actually it won't play. So we do have videos. We're going to have to redo the videos in the near future here, but we have some learning objectives here. And then we move down again, same type of thing where multiple ways to navigate. And then they can get started here. So it's a really great way for them to just move through and sort of absorb how to build and optimize a modern resume. We do have a section down here. So we go through each resume section so they can understand what each is. But we also have a whole section about applicant tracking systems. And we sort of have a video here. Then we have a little interactive where they go through and help Desi with her resume. And as of today, we've had nearly 5,000 students or alumni move through this. There's a survey at the end, and there's really positive responses in the survey. The big light bulb moment that people mention as most impactful for them is clearly the ATS info. So that's kind of a really cool project we've done. And yeah, I believe I'll drop it to Sarah next.
That's terrific, guys, but interesting information here. I'm just conscious of our time. Did you have a couple more slides there, Sarah?
Actually, let's skip this one. Matt, do you want to share your remainder of the presentation? Because we are running out of time. Just so
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll go through it really quick, really quick. And we can shoot out the presentation for people as well if they need it.
Sure.
Did you want to talk about ePortfolio activities really quick?
I do. Let me touch on this. We got so consumed by our examples. So ePortfolio, as many of you know, this is a tool that Ashford University has. Is Folio is the ePortfolio tool that we have. It's great. It's really great to incorporate it in a program, have students leave a program with a really great collection of their work that they can share out with a future employer. We just want to make sure that these activities, that are populated into their ePortfolio are scaffolded throughout the program, are purposeful, and it's going to be a great showcase of what the students are capable of. Sometimes we're seeing a bit of a hodgepodge of works here and there, or a last minute, let's have students populate this ePortfolio. And I know that there are other presentations on ePortfolios and effective use of the tool. So I highly encourage everybody to attend those. I'll turn it back over to you, Matt.
Great, yeah, and I saw that earlier in the chat. Michelle Leckerkirk had mentioned that you could tag your portfolio with the NACE, your folio projects with the NACE competencies. Totally true. Great way to reinforce that as well. So career services and course development. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I think of as institutional communication. For some things at Ashford or wherever you're working, there may be like a ticket system. For career services, we don't have that. It may seem like a really efficient way to do things, but based on our team size and how we work, it's much easier just to reach out and ask for help from our team. At Ashford, it's me that you would reach out to, or our manager, and it gets filtered to me. But wherever you are, I think in the hall, quote unquote, conversations, which isn't what it is, isn't what it was a year ago, could be really valuable. So even just reaching out to A career expert on Microsoft Teams or Skype or via email is a great way to do it. My belief is that career services professionals should be really agile and essentially respond to the faculty and students as needed. So that's where we are with our team and what we try to do. Prime example, Business 123 at Forbes, which we talked about a little bit. That one was led by an industry pro as the subject matter expert. Sarah was the instructional designer, and she just basically looped me in, and we got to work and did what we could to make that course really impactful. I want to be conscious of time, so I'm going to be really quick here. Lots of resources here at Ashford from the career development side. We have My Career. I'll show you some screenshots of that in a sec. We have the Student Support Center, which Zovio developed in faculty with the Center for Enhancement of First Year Experience. I know Michelle worked on that as well. I'll show a screenshot of that. We also have the career development modules, which I showed you a couple, the resume one and the diversity statement. We do one-on-one coaching, obviously. And then people and practices. So this is sort of, I guess, what I would think the ideal person to do this work would be. And I'll let y'all review that later.